Hey guys, today's video is sponsored by Glytch Energy. Be sure to use promo code TANEK127 at glitchenergy.com to get a discount on all things Glytch. That's promo code TANEK127 at glitchenergy.com. Enjoy the video, guys. Hello gamers and gamers, what is going on? My name is TANEK127 and welcome back to another video. And that's right guys, we are checking out Skyforge once again and talking about this game here in 2023. Just, showcasing the game to you guys and stuff like that, showing you around and talking about, whether or not Skyforge is a good MMO that you should be playing here in 2023. Now, for those who don't know, I am very up-to-date and familiar with Skyforge. I have been covering this game since its PlayStation launch back in 2017. I have covered it on every single platform it has released on since. The Xbox One, the Nintendo Switch. The only version of Skyforge I haven't touched is the PC version. But we are going to be playing it on Xbox Series X, so do enjoy the gameplay, because this is actually the only next generation version of Skyforge out right now besides the PC version. And what this looks like, it basically is PC Ultra settings running at roughly 30 FPS, which is still marvelous and everything like that, but I do wish there was a performance mode option as well. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into some of the core mechanics of the game, talk about it a bit, and we'll run a dungeon or something at the end, show you guys the combat and all the fun stuff. But let's just go ahead and give you guys the grand tour of what Skyforge has to offer. So first and foremost, one of Skyforge's biggest benefits is it has a ton of classes. That's right. Every single one of these classes, every single one of these symbols you see up here is a class. You have the Alchemist, the Lightbinder, the Soundweaver. These are 3 support classes. You have your tanks. You have the Grove Walker, the Knight, and the Paladin. You have your ranged DPS classes. You have the Cryomancer. You have the Firestarter. You have the Kinetic. You have the Witch, and you have the Necromancer. You have melee classes. You have the Berserker, your typical 2-hand sword class. You have the Monk. You have the Revenant. You have the Slayer. And then you have your regular ranged DPS. You have the Archer. You have the Gunner. You have the Outlaw. And then, of course, the latest class added to the game, the Bounty Hunter. And they really haven't added a new class ever since. The Bounty Hunter came out roughly, I'm going to say at least 2 years ago now. It's been 2 years since the Bounty Hunter came out. But yeah, Skyforge class variety is great. Combat and, play style of the game is a lot of fun. Very good action combat kind of thing. As you guys can see, hack and slash here to death. No crazy cooldown times, none of that tab target stuff or anything. Nothing against people that like that kind of thing, but you guys, if you like action combat, it's a really good game for that. Very controller friendly, also very mouse and keyboard friendly, but the developers had always said the game was built for a controller from the get-go. Now, let's get into the raw meat and potatoes of how things are going and what I recommend when it comes to Skyforge. Do I think you should be playing Skyforge in 2023? I'm going to have to be honest, and this is somebody who's been partnered with them for a long time. My answer is going to be no. I don't think you should. And I honestly think that right now in 2023, more than ever, with games like Wayfinders, Blue Protocol, Throne and Liberty all running around the corner, I think Skyforge could be more in danger this year than this game has been. And I know that may not mean a lot, because we've had a lot of MMORPGs come out in the past, and Skyforge is still standing with a dedicated player base on each platform. But that's where we're going to go into Skyforge's problems, because one of its biggest problems is the small dedicated player bases that it has. And I don't mean the players themselves are the problem, but Skyforge is not a game that welcomes new players with open arms. It has a very difficult catch-up system, and that's one thing that turns players off a lot from it when you play this game. Now, me personally, when the PlayStation version came out back in 2017, I picked up on this after hitting about the 3rd or 4th invasion of the game. I noticed it was starting to get hard to keep up and stick with things without being pressured into spending money. And yes, that is one of the biggest problems this game has, is its pay to win side. And let me go ahead and break that down to you and explain. I'm going to show you guys the cash shop and how everything works here in good old Skyforge. So Skyforge, every character has a base level. That level is determined by your equipment, your capitals, what you have done in your provinces, and there are all kinds of different contributing factors. But you have two big ones here called your cathedral and you have your tower of knowledge. Both of these areas can be increased by paying money. And the problem with that is, you guys will see I'm a rank 110 here on Xbox. I have not played this version of Skyforge for years. So, don't look at my rank and take that as my experience with the game. Any OG to this channel will tell you I have been playing this game. I know my stuff. I've been doing this for a long time. You can ask anybody that'll probably comment on this video, especially if they've been around my channel for a while. Any of these areas that level you can pay direct money for this currency called Argents to level these and also skip the daily caps for them like you would in a mobile game. And that's not a really big turn on for console or PC players. Another problem with it as well is you'll run around and you'll see a lot of the ranks of these other players. As you guys can see, the current player base are roughly like, look, you got a guy here that's 375, another person that's 300 over here. That's probably around the average level. Yeah, 322, 300 something is probably the current average level on the Xbox server. PC and PlayStation are even higher than this. Imagine coming in this game as a level 1. You're surrounded by 300 pluses. You hit endgame. You're roughly anywhere between 40 and 60. And you have no help on, getting to that 300 plus area. And that guy with the guild invites, he is going to need to chill. My goodness. But yeah, that can be pretty discouraging. Now, Skyforge does have a little bit of a catch-up system, but it really doesn't help you too much because, once again, it is something that is capped in daily restrictions. Now, these will be some daily quests that you can do every day. Squad missions, regional missions, which are basically just open world quests, groups, 5-man dungeons, invasion missions, 3-man dungeons, battles, PvP, and trials, which are, raids, 10-man missions, and stuff like that. This here is all great, and each and every single one of these directives, you can do them all once a day, and they'll build up to you for 7 days. So, if you haven't done your directives for a week, you can do a week's worth of directives in a day if you really want to and have the time to do that. All of these will offer you resources that can help you level up. But at the end of the day, the system is not enough, and you're still going to have that temptation to spend money to go over caps and things like that. And I'm going to show you guys that, and that's going to lead us to another problem with Skyforge. Skyforge's whole system is actually really backward. In this game, you can grind easily for the outfits and the cosmetics in the game. They offer them through all kinds of, different player challenges. They have these seasonal reward things that don't pop up. They work kind of like a battle pass. You literally just run dungeons and farm currencies, and you can unlock, cool outfits, mounts through them, and stuff like that. Now, if you come over here and take a peek into the market, there are some things in here that are not too bad. There's some outfit sales, that you can buy for Argent prices and things. But then again, you have things like this, the Rock and Alien pack. It'll give you 21 days of premium subscription. The premium subscription alone helps you level up faster and stuff like that. It'll give you double the credits and double the enemy knowledge, which is once again something you can use to raise your level through your capital. Credits, like I said, those help with raising your capital. Stimulants, those are the items that give you the ability to skip daily caps. And knowledge of enemies is another thing that, helps you raise your level through your capital. And a lot of the resources you guys can see, knowledge of enemies and credits, they're right here for sale via Argents. Argents is a paid currency that you can buy in this game. Now, you can earn Argents very lightly through gameplay, but there's no way to, like, farm them or anything like that. So, no, you can't really. You can farm credits, you can farm knowledge of enemies, you can farm victor medals, you can farm stimulants. Don't get me wrong, all 4 of these things you can farm. But you can also buy them outright and just pay and pay and pay for power if you want to. And that's what they use as a manipulative system for, hey, you want to get caught up, you want to hang with the big guilds and stuff like that, spend some money, get yourself to that end game status, and and then you'll be able to debate in this game how it's really supposed to be. Now, if you look in here, another thing, like I said before, these are all things you can earn by gameplay. These cool looking mounts and stuff like that. I don't understand why some of this stuff they just won't straight up sell it. It doesn't make any sense to me. All these cool things, these are a little currency you can earn by simply participating in in-game activities, running dungeons and stuff like that. They're mounts, fairly priced. You can buy them through the cash shop. They're costumes. These you can grind simply by playing the game. And this is my biggest complaint with Skyforge. Why not just sell these for cash and let people strictly grind the resources? I don't understand why they don't do that. Their cash shop is literally just backwards from a better principle. And I don't understand why Skyforge does that. Now, me personally, if I was these developers, I would consider a lot of things. They're at the point now where all 4 different versions of the games, the PlayStation version, the Xbox version, the Switch version, and PC, where they all get the updates at the same time. The thing about Skyforge also is its content, its seasonal content isn't the greatest as well. Let me explain to you what I mean. So every season you're going to get a new invasion, which is going to come with, new trials for you to take on and stuff like that. Sounds good and dandy. But it's always going to be from the same 5 or 6 races of enemies that you have always fought. So if you're a content creator making guides for this game, once you have been through every invasion once, you have seen everything that this game has to offer. The next time one of those invasions come around, it's going to be the same thing, just at a even higher level. So here, let me give a scenario for you. Imagine Final Fantasy XIV, right? They kept increasing the level cap of the game, and they kept increasing the gear cap and everything like that. But the same 2 dungeons always remained to farm endgame gear, were Amdapor Keep, Wanderer's Palace, and the Crystal Tower. Say those were the only 3 dungeons you ever got to farm gear, but the level cap and everything kept going up, and they never added new dungeons or anything for you to run. How would you feel? Yeah, that's essentially what Skyforge does, just in the form of invasions, which is why, again, it does get boring after a while. When you're a first-time player, the invasions are going to seem new and fresh and stuff like that because they're all going to be brand new content. You've never seen them before. But once you've done all of those invasions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a row, it does seem to get repetitive. Now, don't get me wrong. The chase for new gear is there. The chase for a higher level is there. The chase for, to get your player higher and stronger is there. But they're just really stingy with things like new content or anything. It's been a while since this game has gotten a new dungeon or anything. I think in the past 5 years, they've added maybe 2 or 3 brand new dungeons to it. And the restrictions to get into those dungeons are nuts. Now, like I was saying before, me personally, some suggestions I would make to the developer are, considering crossplay, considering a giant event to merge all 4 platforms together, especially because the PC community is the most experienced ones, and they could probably teach a lot of console players a lot. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of console players on Skyforge are ex-PC veterans, but, I just think, bringing all 4 of the communities together would not be a bad thing. I think they should honestly look into revamping their leveling system and stuff like that, making their catch-up system even better. I have suggested all of these things to these developers in the past as a partner of this game. And in so many words, I was just told by, certain past community managers that, I was disrespecting the developers. I was being an asshole and things like that. So I stopped talking about it, and I just honestly kept voicing my honest opinion of the game. This game does need a lot of improvements. There's a hell of a lot of potential here. But I swear my.com or my games doesn't realize or recognize that potential at all. But anyway, guys, enough of the negativity. Let's go ahead and run a dungeon, show you guys the fun combat Skyforge has to offer, and we'll go ahead and wrap up this video. Alright, so lucky us, it looks like we actually got into a raid. However, we couldn't even find 10 people that wanted to do it, so we got about 6. But yeah, this is one of their 10-man raids called Operation Isabella. Actually, it's actually a really fun raid. But again, the game does not make anything that encourages you to run this content. These raids no longer offer, you know, the best kind of gear you need or anything. They don't utilize any of their fun stuff. And they haven't made a new 10-man raid for God knows how long. Now, despite how this video looks, don't get me wrong, I do not hate this game. It's just, there's so many better things to play out there. There's going to be a lot better games out there, especially here in 2023. With big bangers like Throne and Liberty and Blue Protocol coming out. It's hard to recommend something like this when the developers know that they could be doing so much better with their title. And they've been told for over half a decade now. This came on console in 2017. It's 2023. Me and a lot of their community are still saying the same thing. Or at least, you know, a lot of players that left the game. There are people out there who like this game and how it is, and there's, you know, nothing against them. There's nothing wrong with that. But with some changes, this game could benefit tremendously. Well, that boss is going on. Imagine if we did have 10 people. Good lord. You know, there's a lot of things that'll make me happy in this game that I do genuinely miss. Well, now, according to some of the people at my games, Tnek127 is an asshole. He doesn't care about the game. Tnek just gives us a bunch of suggestions that'll help save our game, but no, he hates the game. He has came to us several times throughout the past 5 years to make supportive content for us, but he hates the game. He doesn't want what's best for us. Sorry guys, you can't tell that it does kind of actually, knowing that does kind of piss me off. Like when I was told that, I don't think 3 years ago, maybe longer now, I was heated. As some of the developers that saw me as disrespectful. I was like, what? Man, and no lie guys, this raid is even more fun. Like, don't get me wrong, the God mode in Skyforge is really cool. But it's also one of the things I don't care for. This raid is so much more fun when you're running it as 10 normal players, not gods. And you actually have to follow the mechanics for the bosses. They don't all die within 30 and 45 seconds. It's a lot more fun that way. By the way, if any of you guys do want to see my Berserker rotation guide, I do have that up on YouTube as well. There is a method to my madness to the way I play Berserker. There are a lot of great rotations out there for it, but it's just one personally that I personally like to use. Alright, Lightning Golem, next boss. I think after this boss there's one more, the Pegasus. If I'm not mistaken. But as you guys can see, the raids are filled with content, multiple bosses, everything. And if you can't tell, the game runs really well. Not many frame drops, anything. Now, this is the next gen version, of course. This is on the Xbox Series X, but, you know, I'm pretty sure on a high-end PC it looks just as good. It runs pretty well on PlayStation as well, so. And even the Switch version looks decent. I don't know if it still has the crashing problems it did, which I hope not. The version been out for a little bit now. Those crashing problems are a little old. Yeah, now usually when you fight the Pegasus as gods, you damage it so hard that it forces itself into one of its higher mechanics. Let's see if we can get that to happen here. Yep. Yeah, it'll take off in the air like that. It'll start shooting missiles, and you just have to run around and kill ads till it comes back down. And be careful, because the Pegasus missiles, even in God mode, they can kill you. Like, as you guys can see, it was knocking a little bit out of my health up there. So, dodge those AoEs. And she's back down. Let's toast her. Get a little spin the wind going in there. Now, as you guys can see, because I don't have a premium subscription on right now, it'll actually show you right there. My credit amount would have doubled having that paid premium subscription. Now, one thing I will give them is earning the premium subscription in-game is actually pretty easy. They have a lot of events that'll give you a free premium subscription. So, don't get me wrong. Yes, the premium subscription is meant to be paid for, but the subscription is actually one thing they are a bit gracious with. I do want to say that as a disclaimer here in this video. But anyway, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up on, my thoughts about Skyforge in 2023. Y'all enjoyed this video? Smash that like button. Let me know how you feel down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? It's okay. Be honest. Everybody's got their own opinion. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. Have a good one.